Yo, Think This Podcast, episode 384. George, Greg, special guest. Well, not guest. Hey, fam.
Yeah.
Tim. I won't say the last name on pod, but you know, can you find it a while? We got the
It's
homie
good
Tim.
to be back. Finally, it's been a while. It's been like a couple of years.
I figured you didn't want to come. It ain't been that long.
Yeah, it's been
You came last year. What are you talking
Nah,
about?
I didn't.
Not one time last year.
Nah, the last time I came back was with True, like, because the memory came up on my phone.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
It's been a while.
No, ain't no way.
A whole year?
You skipping one between that one and 1 cent.
A whole year.
You know
have
what?
to.
No, it wasn't. I think it was last year because we was talking about football. I wanna
Probably,
say.
maybe.
No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before last. Because the Cowboys didn't come here last season, I don't think.
No, you came on the pod last
been a
year.
while, man.
A whole year.
Y'all be busy,
Man, we were speaking of Bad James's. We're at Bad James less than a year ago. That was that dinner, and he was in town drinking up everything. He was like, "Give me the drink with the most alcohol."
Yes. Yeah,
He wouldn't have come to Phoenix had not been here.
And George, I was like, wow, why is he drinking like this? I was like, okay.
He was hyped. He was excited to be out. It happens that way.
They have the best wings by far in Phoenix, easily.
Who?
Angel Trumpet, easily.
Oh, you out of control.
Easily.
Not even close.
I don't even think we tried him that day. Did we?
Yeah,
try
we
him?
did.
Oh,
Did we get wings?
I must
We got
not have
wings,
had
didn't
them.
Yeah. Who has better wings?
The best wings.
Maybe I didn't eat one then. I don't remember. Because I would remember that.
The best wings to me is at Times Square. It's a little chain spot. It's in Arizona. Maybe like 2 or 3 spots in
It's
Arizona.
in Litchfield?
The one in Litchfield.
I will go this weekend.
The wings there.
Okay.
Top tier.
So this is how I judge a wing. Do they have a good buffalo wing?
Buffalo. That's the only one they got.
Okay.
All right, I don't mean like no Thai chili.
Okay,
none
yeah,
of that.
cool. We're here.
It's top tier. All right.
Okay.
My daughter eats them, and she's only 8, 9.
I mean, you
Top
okay?
tier.
Just say like a pizza thing. Then you could have like compare to cheese pizzas, but then you could also say, well, this one over here with these ingredients is better than everything else. I mean, you could make 2 like lists or whatever. It don't got to be like
What, 2 type of wings list?
yeah. If you're saying the only thing you compare is buffalo versus buffalo versus buffalo at every place. But what if a place has like a super good flavor that's not buffalo,
fair.
but that's better than everybody else's? You know what I mean?
I feel to judge a really good wing, though, you have to have at least a good traditional
Yeah, that's
buffalo.
fine. But I'm saying like A versus B versus C, you could judge what's the best buffalo. But if this D over here, Paul's got a wing that's better than all the other wings, but it's a different flavor, that's fair game too.
Because that wing place, people were swearing by Ace of Wings, like strawberry wings. Like, who wants that? Like, why do I
Well,
want
that's
strawberry
different. That's not even a traditional flavor.
Get that out of here.
I had that.
Nah,
I had that wing place one time. I never needed.
Have you been to LeGrand yet?
Oh, what is that?
In Arcadia?
Is that like a sports bar?
LeGrand Orange.
Nah.
Fam, how have you?
I ain't never been there either. Oh, you ever been with you before?
Maybe.
Oh,
The
That's
pizza's pretty good. The burgers are pretty good. They always get high ratings for their burgers and pizza. The pizza is interesting because it's sourdough crust or whatever dough, but the wings there are like top notch wings.
Okay.
Like a lot of meat on them too. They're not like when the wings you fry all the meat out of the
that's
wing.
a part of the That's a part of the qualifications too. The wing is good too, but the sauce.
They got the drumsticks and the wings super good.
Are they fried or they bake them?
I think they're baked. I'm not 100 because I think they put them in the pizza oven.
Well, you like your wings baked?
I do.
I'm not 100% sure.
Baked wings?
I don't think they have. No, they got
Greg,
French fries.
I gotta keep my cholesterol down. My cholesterol doing Jordan numbers. I gotta.
Oh, mine is a 10-time All-Star.
Maybe they do have a fryer, but I want to say the wings are baked. But the other place that you wouldn't expect the wings to be really good, I think they call them charbroiled, or they don't call them baked, but they are baked. But Twin Peaks
I had that
wings.
one. Yeah.
Okay,
Pig wings is good.
Yeah, I had that one.
They throw them in the oven. They
not
throw
the
'em in
fried
grill.
ones. That new the grilled
Yeah,
ones.
they throw them on the
grill.
Yeah,
grill
they're pretty
and then
good.
they throw them in the oven. They
Yeah.
put the
Okay.
marks on them and put them in the oven.
Outback. Outback.
Relax with the marks on the wing.
Outback wings are phenomenal.
You told me that before. I don't know about that. When did Outback start
He don't
selling
like
wings?
chain places.
Well, no, I'm okay with Outback.
Talking about all right, well, whatever. You don't like
Outback,
chains. in
Texas
general.
Roadhouse. Those are top tier chains.
Texas Roadhouse.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
yeah.
he don't like. He's not
It's
big on
consistent.
chains.
The bread is consistent. Texas
Food is
Roadhouse.
consistent. Chili's, another place that's consistent. Now, they chips and salsa suck, but other than that, everything else is good. Chili's is fire.
Man,
about to
you
make
eat
me
at
upset.
way too many fireplaces to come on this podcast talking about some chili.
I
I'm not
love
too good for Chili's. Not
Let
too
me
good
tell
for
you
Chili's.
something. I love a Chili's commercial though because the food on the commercial be having me like maybe.
Like
I
them-
haven't ate in Chili's, no joke, in
Them
about
Big Mouth bites? Oh yeah, they slap.
Chili's. I'm gonna say 16 years. I haven't been to Chili's though. No joke.
So when you and your family go out to eat, just say, hey, we want to go, like something simple, not too much. Where do y'all go?
Like me and Rocio or me
No,
and
the
the
family.
kids?
You, Rosia, the kids.
Like Times Square.
Okay.
Like spots like that.
Because it's right by the crib.
That's mainly, but it's really good. It's really expensive, but it's really good. Pizza, fire. Seafood, fire. The wings, fire.
Because it's next to that fries, right?
Right next to that fries. You wouldn't think it. You'd be like, but
I passed by it a couple of times. Because me and my wife go to the bagel spot that's in that
I go to that bagel
complex
spot. I
sometimes.
go in there sometimes, but can't be eating them bagels too much either. Though. Them
be
bad for you
chilling.
too. Them bad for you too. You talk about them fried wings. Them bagels is the worst. Bagels is one of the worst things you could possibly eat.
Muffins.
Huh?
Muffins.
Yes.
I used to eat muffins a lot, especially on blueberry muffins.
Me
Sprouts.
too.
Oh my God.
Man, I cut that blueberry muffin, throw a little pat of butter in that joint, let it marinate.
Nah, you wildin'. I ain't doing all that.
Eat
I
them
ain't doing all
joints.
that.
We appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. We're gonna be doing the podcast a little bit differently from now on. All right, I'm gonna start putting out like 2 episodes a week, maybe back to back, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday. We're gonna do like one episode is gonna be with regards to like sports and pop culture and any questions or something funny on social media, and then the other half is gonna be sneakers for all you weirdos out there who still love sneakers. All right, but so if you listen to this podcast right now, we're doing sports right now. We're talking draft, we're talking Shedeur, we're talking about NFL, we're talking about a lot of stuff like that. We maybe have to talk about can 100 men beat up a gorilla? I don't know. We may have to fit that in somehow. So like I said, you listen to this right now, don't worry, there's a second episode with sneakers that'll be on its way, so chill out. NFL draft. So I had to have Tim come on the podcast because Tim is very opinionated, open-minded. He argues about a lot of stuff and has a
be
lot of
chilling,
opinions
man.
on things. So I was literally at the house thinking like, who could I bring on the podcast who I feel like can talk about, knows football, knows Shedeur, has opinions that talk about it, and the first person I thought of was Tim. So first thing I just want to talk right off the bat, all right, just the NFL draft. And first of all, how do y'all think y'all teams did? I mean, you share a team, all right.
I think we did well. I think we didn't address the wide receiver 2 position, but I think everywhere else, I think Jerry did. I think they did a good job. Because my boy said, Tim, who do you think we're going to get the first round? I said, personally, I would like to get the best receiver, but knowing Jerry with Zach Martin retiring, we need a guard. We need to beef up our line because it looks like Dallas has set the message in this draft, in my opinion, is going to be physicality.
I will tell you, our O-line last year was decimated, and it was awful.
Yes.
All right? Like, it was bad. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that I thought, like, that's where I want to go first. I wanted running back first.
Really?
And the reason why I wanted running back first is because I feel like, Zeke fell off years ago.
Yeah.
But last year, I felt like we were so bad at running back.
We were.
And I was like, you know what?
You know what, though? I'm not going to slight Rico. I forgot his last name. He actually had a solid
He had
season.
some moments.
He had a solid season.
He was fine.
But he's not an every down type of back.
No. I need a every down back. And I was really hoping to get Boise
Genty?
State.
Genty.
I really was. I was hoping. I didn't think he was going to go that quick to the Raiders. And I was a little
I
mad
didn't
that the
either.
Raiders got him.
I didn't either.
Like, the Raiders needed a running back?
Buddy.
Look, I know Jacobs is gone, but like I didn't watch that many Raiders games last year. Like I
Who
didn't
was
pay.
the
The
Raiders
last
running back
thing the
last year?
Raiders need is a running back.
Okay.
Who was the running
feel
back
that.
last year
Thank
for
you.
the Raiders?
It started off with White from Georgia,
Okay.
and then after 5 games or something, they were basically he either got injured or they were like, "Buddy, you suck." I think he was averaging like 1.9 yards a carry or something like that. They ended up they signed Madison in last offseason, so he took over, and then I think he got hurt and somebody took over for him, so it went from like White, Alexander Madison. Who was that? Who was the running back from? I think he went to Nebraska and drafted by the Lions. Everybody thought he was going to be good, and then he basically was just like a pass catching back forever.
I really don't know y'all backs. Thought I did.
I'm thinking of Swift, but not
Let me look
Swift.
this up.
Swift was what, Chicago?
Yeah, Swift was on. No, he was on Chargers.
Yeah,
last year?
he's
Philly?
been he was Philly. He's been on a couple of different teams recently, but drafted by Detroit, obviously.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm glad that we got running backs. Like we ended up getting what, 1 or 2 running backs.
Two.
We got a homeboy from Texas, and
Texas, I like him. I
yeah.
like that pick.
and then what's his name from
Amir
Auburn?
Abdullah.
Okay.
Oh, Abdullah. Okay, yeah.
So, and like apparently his first ever 100-yard rushing game was last year with the Raiders. Like all the years he's been in the league. Like what?
Because in today's NFL, you need 2 backs. You do.
We do, and I'm fine with I'm fine with starting fresh and young. And the Cowboys, to me, always have solid drafts. To me, all right.
I won't go that far. I
feel
felt
like
the last couple of years we didn't hit on those first lineman picks, like Mozzie Smith, blah.
Young.
The tackle from Oklahoma, I'm not going to be too hard on him because he still has some time. Tyler Smith, I don't think we should have got him that early.
No. That's a little early for me. All right. Now, like I said, when it comes to like defensive players and linemen, if you're not a cornerback, I don't expect much out of you right off the bat. Linebacker position is a really hard position.
Corner, it depends on where you get drafted. If you're a first rounder, I expect you to come in and compete.
I'll be honest with you, I expect a lot of corners first through fourth, like, to come in and compete.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good college DBs out there, to me, corners out there that I think is like phenomenal right off the bat and can come in and put some good coverage on somebody.
That guy we got from is it East
Carolina?
The grade's been high on him. I don't know anything about him.
I seen him play a couple times. I can't sit there and say that like I was focused on him. I didn't know much about him. I just happened to watch East Carolina games a couple times. But I watched some of his highlights and stuff like that, and I'm like, they're really high on him. So there's one thing that Cowboys need is some defense, all right, in that corner position. So giving up all the points that we gave up last year was insane.
And Diggs hurt part of the season, and Bland hurt part of the season.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody come back. We got a new regime come in. We're going to be all right.
Because we got the defensive coordinator. No, I'm sorry. Our defensive coordinator is the former head coach from Chicago.
Yeah. Which, we'll see. Now, he knows he can be a good coordinator.
Yeah.
Head coach, I don't know about that. But coordinator, I'll let him roll with that. All right.
I still say 9-8.
You think that bad?
Yeah, 9-8.
I think we'll get 11 this year. If Dak stay healthy, I think we'll get 11.
Who's the head coach now?
Schottenheimer.
Not Marty.
I was about to say Brian Schottenheimer. Or
Yes.
what?
Yeah, it's Brian. I think his name Brian.
Is it the son?
Yeah.
Or is he even related to him?
Yeah, that's his dad.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I think it's Brian
that's his dad.
Schottenheimer, I think.
Bam.
I can't remember.
We still got Washington in our division. Still got Philadelphia in our division.
That's what I hate. I kind of feel like the Giants may be better than the Cowboys next year. All right.
It depends what Russ do.
I got a feeling Russ may be okay. You got Russ. You got your defense is okay. You got Nate. You got some players out there who can do something for you.
Russ is.
I don't feel like the Giants were really, really bad all year last year, but they just didn't have no stability at that. I feel like their coaching staff is by far better than the Cowboys to me. I think Dable's a good coach. All right, but he's on thin ice though.
I actually agree with you. I feel the GM set him up by saying, "Hey, Daniel Jones is going to be your quarterback." Daniel Jones sucks.
Yeah, he's awful. But I do feel like this may be Dable's last year as well. So we'll see. NFL draft process, interviews, all that stuff. And obviously a lot of this conversation comes up with Shedeur.
Yeah.
Hey, George watches these cats since they from elementary school. All right.
I mean, more basketball than football, but I know who the football recruits are who come into college, yeah.
First of all, you know what? I'll say this about the NFL draft process, right? Actually, I'll ask you. Is there any flaws in the draft process? Because I feel like...
I mean, I think that's obvious there's flaws, but for us to, designate what they are would be impossible. Well, teams, flop on picks all the time.
Yeah, but see, I don't necessarily count, a flopping on a pick like a flaw. I mean, just right off the bat, the initial assessment they give these players. Because once everything started happening with Shedeur,
I think
then it started to be like, he really ain't that good.
The disconnect is between the media and teams and what info they feed the media. And, you have I didn't watch any of it because I was out of town at a wedding all weekend, but obviously I saw on Twitter that Mel Kiper is carrying water for Shedeur or whatever.
Mel Kiper went.
And so you don't, maybe he's close with Dion or something, who knows? But you don't get to that point without building connections with teams. You know what I mean? So it's not like jabroni writer over here predicted Shedeur to go 2 overall. Actual people who've been in the business for a long time had him up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it be in the projection of their number, you know how the Mel Kiper does his top 30 guys might not match the draft order, but he'll have his top 30 and then he'll do a prediction for the draft. So it's not like the top guys who have connections didn't, how do I want to word it? Like, it's not like nobody's in media, because people always blame the media, obviously, but it's not like nobody's were like, he's a first rounder, and then he believed it. Actual people who have connections in the league thought that. But I think the disconnect is what the league. I saw something on Twitter today that man from Barstool who does that. What's the number 1 podcast in the world? PMT or whatever.
Yeah. Whatever it's called.
The one who's not the one who wears the glasses. The other guy, Cathead. He said they had Schefter or one of those guys, maybe Todd McShay, on their show last week, and he was. And I don't ever watch the podcast, so I have no idea. But he was like, whoever it was said, I don't have a team for Shedeur in the first round. So I don't think he's. I get this is what he said on the show.
Todd McShay.
Supposedly, yeah.
Because I follow Todd McShay. I think he's pretty solid, and I think he's more right than wrong with for his analysis with guys coming out of college.
Yeah, like I don't want to say it was McShay. I just know it was like one of those top guys,
Yeah.
Schefter or McShay or whatever. I'm assuming it was McShay. But the quote was, I don't have a team for Shedeur in the first round, so I don't think he's gonna go in the first round. Something like that. And now you watch this now. He was obviously right and wrong at the same time because he didn't go for 3 more rounds after that. But the disconnect is between the media and the teams. I think the teams know what they want to do, whether it's right or wrong. Because like I said, they're going to have a lot of flops.
Yeah.
But we're not getting information from the teams. We're getting information from the media. So if the media has a disconnect between them and the teams, and the teams really have no reason to give accurate info out. They don't want anyone knowing who they're drafting. They're going to give you smoke shit, so you put this out and then hope the other team sees it like, I'm going to trade all my picks to go up. Like who was it that traded for Travis? Titans? Or Jaguars?
Jaguars. But who did they knock out of the top? Giants?
No,
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
That was
Cleveland. That's
Cleveland's
right.
pick.
Cleveland.
That might be the smartest move in Cleveland Browns franchise history. And I don't say that because I think Travis is going to be a bad player. I think Travis might be the best corner in the league in a couple years. We watched against that. Remember the game against, not this year football, last year against TCU when he made that diving interception in the end zone, first game of the season?
Yeah.
I've never seen a corner do that. Now, does he get beat from time to time because he's over aggressive? Yeah, but
He has great instinct.
but not only that, he has like game changing quick twitch, like in short span.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And see, I don't think Travis
recovery.
Hunter was the best corner in the draft. I thought the guy from Michigan was the best corner, personally.
Well, he didn't go till round 2, I don't think.
Because of that injury.
Will Johnson.
He went to
Yeah,
Cardinals.
he got hurt.
My buddy who is a Michigan fan, lives in Michigan, said that there was something word going around that he's not big on like if he has like a little tiny injury, he's not big on like, I'll play with my toe hurts. He's like a sit out guy. He doesn't like going to practice, stuff like words started leaking about stuff like that. I don't think he's better than Travis Hunter, though. Travis Hunter might be the best. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Travis Hunter is like the most physical corner you've ever seen, and he's like blah, blah, blah. But I think he has the best athleticism in like getting your body to go from like going that way to that. Well, like he has uncanny
What scheme you going to put
being
him
able
in?
to turn, which is what you need as a corner. You need change of direction and like loose hips and all that.
But what kind of
stuff.
scheme he's going to play?
Yeah,
Because he has to put on more weight.
I think he's playing.
Because I saw someone said his ceiling as a corner is Champ Bailey, and then I read another report. His ceiling as a wide receiver is Justin Jefferson.
I think it's better than Champ Bailey personally, but that's
Really?
Better than Champ Bailey?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. To me, when I watch Travis Hunter play football on the defensive side, because you can coach the little mistakes out. That's the thing. It's hard to take a guy who doesn't have physical gifts and teach him the physical gifts. You can take the guy who has the physical gifts and teach him to stop gambling on shit or like read the ticks that the receiver's going to give
His
you.
ball skills are phenomenal.
Yeah, so that play he made against TCU in the end zone, and then he did it again this year against somebody. I don't remember who it was.
Stanford?
Maybe. He made some crazy diving interception or
I think
something.
it was Stanford.
I remember
Those
the
are just
TCU
plays
play.
that
You can't coach
never
that.
see corners make. It's impossible to make that play.
Oregon. Maybe it was Oregon.
I don't think it was
I have
right.
no
remember.
idea. But
They got whooped up, but
corners don't make plays like that. I mean, they just don't.
So how soon you think Travis Hunter is going to be a top 5 corner in the league?
Within the next 2-3 years, easy.
Okay.
And I mean, look, you don't trade all that unless you're going to play him on offense too. They're going to give him the ball.
And
Obviously.
see, I don't think it's worth it. Like, why are you playing? This is the NFL. This isn't college. I don't think he's going to be able to play. Oh, I'm going to play receiver a couple of snaps. Oh, I'm going to go on defense and play some snaps.
Bruh, you trade a first this year. They got a first, so I guess they moved up 3 spots. But they gave a 2 this year and a 1 next year. If you did that for an exclusive corner,
And I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence.
No, not you. Trevor
don't like
Lawrence.
him either.
No thanks. All right, he's very overrated. All right, now he could also be just because he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
So I don't really put. It's one of them situations where you go like, wow, you're a really good Jacksonville Jaguar quarterback, but you suck as a quarterback to me. Okay, now you throw him on
they went to the playoffs the 1 year, but then he got injured. Obviously he still hasn't proven anything. You could say Justin Herbert hasn't proven anything, even though his numbers have been pretty good.
Justin Herbert is
Well, his coach was an idiot.
In other
Brandon
words,
Staley, but
it's tough when Mahomes is in your division. But you look at Josh Allen; he's gotten them for the most part to the promised land. Lamar
true.
Jackson's got 3 MVPs now, or 2, 3.
two. Was he
two.
going for
So,
3
I
this
mean-
year? 2.
So I mean, those
Get that candy. Sorry.
and you also.
Yeah, throw it.
So I mean, it's impossible to win MVP when Lamar's playing that well. Like they're in the same. What is it, league MVP or is it conference league MVP? Right,
League
The
MVP. Yeah. You could have just threw it. There you go.
Well, it's not as easy when you have the bag tapped empty.
maybe I sound like a Travis Hunter hater. I'm just not that sold. I don't think he's trash. Don't get me wrong.
He's the
still
best cornerback prospect I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not trying to
Really?
pretend like I'm an evaluation guy or I should work in the NFL or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Pat P.
No, he's the best cornerback prospect I've ever seen.
Over Patrick Peterson.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Stop, George.
He 100%. He does things on the field as a corner that no
what
other
you're
man
talking
has
about,
ever done.
Well, hold on. What you're talking about, like you said, the things that you can't teach. I pay attention to that with a lot of football players and stuff like that, a lot of soccer players and things like that, how they can put their body in a position for like the just in case. It's what I try to teach Cortez about soccer. If he's going 100 miles that way, that's it. He can't.
Yeah, Turner.
He can't. He can't
thing, yeah.
now go 100 that way. Travis puts himself in the best possible situations you could be as a corner, and I will say, as I've ever seen before. It's like even when he's potentially messed up, overplayed it, overshot, he can get himself back up to recover to get back in the correct position.
P?
I think if
I'm not gonna say
listen,
over Pat P.
if-
I think Patrick Peterson has way more physical skill than Travis Hunter. But I think Travis Hunter's IQ and his ability to play wide receiver puts him in a different level than Patrick Peterson.
Pat P was
think-
going AJ Green in college, Julio Jones, and locking them up.
I think if Travis Hunter did the like Nike Spark thing or like the combine, whatever, people would be floored at what his like athleticism scores would be.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm
I
with
mean,
you.
floored.
I don't
Like,
want you to.
think
I don't want you to think. I don't think he's.
No, I understand why you got Peterson's your guy too.
But
So I
I'm
get
not.
it.
I'm not even trying to be biased. Like Peterson coming
You
out of
biased.
LSU was really that guy at corner. I don't see that with Travis Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why I feel like it's hard to see that with Travis Hunter is because he played 50-50 on both.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you. Most of
He
my
also played at Colorado and they didn't. I mean, the first year when they were start of 3-0 or 4-0, people cared. But then after that, they weren't really ever any good.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, like I watched a lot of Colorado football. You know
did
that.
too,
I
yeah.
watched a lot of Colorado
did too,
football.
actually.
And majority of my memories of what Travis Hunter does on the field is revolves around wide receiver. So when you have a Patrick Peterson and them like that, or Charles Woods and not Woods, Woodson and all them,
Champ.
you only look at them as a corner and what they do. So it's like I don't have any other thing to evaluate you on. I'll be honest with you. I would rather see him play wide receiver than cornerback. But cornerback is
Well,
more
it'd be more
important.
exciting.
To be
It's-
honest,
yeah.
this may be a stretch. I think you could compare him to Chris Gamble when he was at Ohio State, slightly.
Gamble's a lot bigger. I mean, Gamble's probably 6'1", 6'2". I see what you're saying. He played both ways and whatnot.
Gamble played for the Raiders too at one point.
Panthers, just the Panthers.
Panthers. That's right.
Gamble was bigger. He didn't have the like short area quickness that Travis Hunter has. Listen, I get it. He went to Jackson State and then Colorado. He was the #1 recruit in the country by a long shot.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
like we're talking about someone who was a 2-star and then got
Absolutely.
better. We're talking about someone who people knew at 17
I think
years
he's the
old
guy.
was going to be one of the best football
Yeah, I
players
think
of
he's the
all time.
guy. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
top corner. I really thought that cat from Michigan was the best corner in the draft. I really did.
What do you think can change though?
Well, you got to keep in mind that scheme is different. Michigan plays a lot of cover 2. They give Will Johnson help. They don't play like man free where he's like got half the field to himself. They play a lot of zone. He gets help. That defense is really good in general. So like,
I'll challenge you on this.
And the quarterbacks in that conference aren't any good.
Travis Hunter is not locking up not any top 5 receiver in the league right now. He is not shadowing. He is not following any receiver in the league right now.
No. But he will in a couple years. I mean, and you got to remember, like, with the way the NFL rules are, Champ Bailey played in an era where you could, like, get away with a bunch of shit and not get a flag thrown against you. So this era is different where the receivers are protected. So if there's even, like, because
right now
the illegal contact rule was not the same back when Champ Bailey played.
Let me ask you this, though. Since you brought that statement up, who would you consider, like, he's not locking up? Like, Justin Jefferson?
Not locking him up.
Not locking up. CeeDee Lamb?
Not locking him up. Devontae Adams, not locking him up. Nah.
Now, his route running reigns supreme, all right?
Jamar Chase, not locking him up at all.
Chase, no.
Hold on. You got to take a step back because when you say locking up, you'll see ESPN or whatever publicized that like, oh, this guy only had 2 catches for 18 yards today. But were they matched up the entire game?
I feel you. I totally understand
other scheme things going on? Yeah. So you got to look into the advanced stats for that kind of stuff, and you'll get a true sense of like how many times those guys were matched up against each other, how many catches did he have during those reps, how many yards of separation did he have? Because the stats that you get these days are completely different from back in the day. If you ask me who the best corner I ever saw play in his prime was, I probably would go with Revis. At least of the like, I've been alive obviously for Charles Woodson and Champ Bailey and all those guys.
Deion and Revis.
If you and Deion obviously, but if you say like who was the stickiest guy or the guy who like let's say in his best 3 to 5 years, who was the best guy? It was Revis, to me. But again, different era. We didn't have all those statistics we have these days to like measure yards of separation or what type of defense he was playing, how many times they were matched up. I'm just saying specifically from a skill standpoint on the football field, Travis Hunter has like athleticism that I don't think I've ever, and I don't mean athleticism. A lot of people read that and they think like, oh, you can run, you're going to beat Usain Bolt in a race. I'm not talking about 100-meter
flipping
athleticism.
Hips, running laterally.
10 yard,
absolutely.
10-yard short shuttle, or whatever athleticism. He has athleticism I don't think I don't want to say ever seen in the NFL, but he has uncanny nth power athleticism that I think is going to, people are going to be surprised how good he is in the NFL.
I will be.
How do y'all feel about Cam Ward?
I like it. Cam Ward is the quarterback that I would have wanted for the Raiders if they had the number 1 pick.
I'm glad you brought that up. I do. People may kill me for this. I do not see a huge difference between Cam Ward and Shedeur. I really don't. I don't get the Cam Ward hype. I really don't. Not saying he's trash.
I do, but I've been a Cam Ward fan for a long time. His numbers at Incarnate Word were insane. Then he transferred to Washington State, lit it up there.
What is his ceiling to you?
I don't think he's like.
What's a comparable?
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he has Mahomes. Let's put it this way, Mahomes, because I know people have been down on Mahomes the last 2 years. Let's say Mahomes with Tyreek Hill version. I don't think Cam Ward's that good.
And this was a weak QB draft, if we being honest.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, the next quarterback didn't go to the second round, right, or late first. Who was the second one? Somebody traded back in the first round to pick Dart, right?
Jackson Dart was the second.
Yeah, somebody traded back in to get Dart late first. So the quarterback draft was bad. A comp.
So I got a good question.
I think he could be as good as C.J. Stroud. I don't see, and I know he had a down second year, but I don't see why he can't be the same level.
That's a
of
good
player.
comp.
I don't see why he can't be the same level.
If hypothetically, of course, if Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State and I think Ryan Williams from Alabama,
Jeremiah Smith might be the best wide receiver.
No, hear me out. If Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams were in the draft, do you think Cam Ward still goes number 1?
Yes, because of the position.
Okay.
But I think both of those guys go in the top 5. I don't think there's any doubt.
That's without a doubt.
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
But Cam Ward, and it depends on the team. Tennessee Titans, they need a quarterback.
I think the position is what determines it more than anything. And And if not, then I think somebody would have traded up.
I would hate to have to pass on players like that that year for a quarterback because you want those players, but you still ain't got no quarterback.
Yeah.
Titans can't do nothing in free agency. All their draft picks have been bust the last I don't know how many years. So it would suck for them to have to pass on something like that to get a quarterback. But at the same time, it's like...
And how's their line?
Honestly, to me, it's a little crazy that Williams and Smith weren't more hyped coming out of high school because these guys watch film and watch players and go to camps, and they've seen these kids for 4 years. Why no one was like shooting off flares for how good these kids were going to be?
I heard about Smith. I didn't hear about Williams.
I knew about both of them, but I didn't. Unless someone's shooting a rocket off the top of a mountain, you're just going to assume because wide receivers struggle. You know that they struggle as rookies in the NFL. They struggle as freshmen in college. It's a difficult position to learn. You got to block number one for the running game.
Yeah.
You gotta. You can't pout when you don't get the ball when you're the decoy route. It's a lot to learn as a wide receiver, especially if you're like super complicated offense or something. Those dudes are
because we've
never seen anyone like them.
Sophomore,
like you remember how good Jamar was as a sophomore. You remember how good Jamar was as a sophomore.
Julio
Those
Jones
dudes
is
are
a freshman.
that good as a freshman.
Julio Jones is a freshman. AJ Green is a freshman.
Julio is probably the only one you can compare to them. The only one.
Not AJ Green. Freshman?
AJ Green was killer.
As a freshman?
Killer.
Would you rather have Jeremiah Smith or AJ Green?
Probably Jeremiah
Smith.
Thank you.
Jeremiah Smith.
But that's why I'm asking you that question because it's relevant.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got high. So as far as the rest of the draft,
Julio was a 101 prospect. No one has ever been as good as Julio to the point he got to. So we'll see if Smith and Williams can get there, and if they do, I would put them above him. But as of right now, Julio, for what he did as a prospect and lived up to it through that whole career, that's the best wide receiver prospect. You know, you can obviously Randy Moss, but of this modern era or whatever, Julio Jones is the best wide receiver.
The way the rest of the draft went, reading it, so I don't know you didn't watch it. I know you saw it and everything. Did you think it was fine the way it played out? The way the rest of the draft
I still think
went?
the Shedeur thing is weird because why would a team like in the third not just take a chance? I mean, like...
Well, then let's just talk about that then.
I don't watch a lot of Barstool content, and for the most part, those dudes, I just feel like I know more about sports than they do. Yes, I know they got contacts and connects and whatever, but someone on there made a really good point. I think it was Portnoy. He said, and he knows Deion personally, so he has a reason to not be 100% honest about it because he got to protect his relationship with Deion. He was 100% honest when he said, I understand taking a flyer on Shedeur if you think he can win the starting job. I don't understand taking a flyer on Shedeur if you're going to make him your backup and potentially have all that chaos.
So
that's a really good point.
So let's talk about Shedeur then. Okay. So obviously, if anybody who watched the draft and know the draft and been paying attention to social media, internet, Shedeur projected to be top 1, 2, 3, 4, first round. We'll stop at first round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere up there.
Now, we've watched a lot of Colorado football the last 2 years. A lot. Okay.
Yeah.
And were you shocked to see what happened with Shedeur?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And I'm not even trying to be biased. Just the fact that if he didn't go in the first round, okay, I get that. Because as what George was saying, not too many teams, in my opinion, we're going to get a quarterback.
Right.
When the Giants traded up, I knew they weren't going to get him because apparently he didn't mesh with Dable in the interview. For him to drop in the 5th round, for Dylan Gabriel to go before, and Jalen Milroe, he's trash. He can't throw an out route.
So that's fine. Okay. Now, we've watched a lot of Colorado football, okay? Yeah. And Shedeur has had moments where you go, okay. And some games where you go, okay, all right? But he's had some games, too, where you go,
My criticism, he holds on to the ball too long.
So hold on to yeah.
That's not going to fly in the NFL.
The pat of the ball, people don't understand how much time that takes to, like, hit it, then throw it, like stuff like that. He holds it way too long.
Here's the way, like what you were just saying about the number order, I'm fine with Ward going above him. I can understand you making the argument that Dart should go ahead of him. I could even see taking Alabama man ahead of him just because people are wowed by the traits or whatever.
He can't throw an out route.
I'm just saying. Think about the profile of the player. People think he's going to be Lamar Jackson, or they want to make the next Lamar Jackson.
So you think with a good coach,
I'm just saying.
fix his throwing mechanics?
I'm just saying,
think a good system.
Okay.
I'm just saying the potential is there to create something. Dylan Gabriel, I don't know how he went in the third round in general,
So,
let alone
hold
ahead
on.
of Shedeur.
So,
that's where
okay.
I draw the line of
So,
like this. Anything from here on, this is
hold
absurd.
on. Let's not get to that yet. Let's just talk about Shedeur. Is there anybody or anything that
I
you
wanted
feel
the
is
Raiders
to
to pick
blame?
him. Once it got to the third round, like all the fans were upset when the Raiders won those 2 games down the stretch to like take them out of the running for the first pick. Buddy, once you get to the third or fourth round, like it's a flyer. Who cares?
I will say this: I thought Pittsburgh or New Orleans would have took him.
That's the team that made me the most frustrated was Pittsburgh.
Because like y'all waiting for Aaron Rodgers.
All of the other teams have quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They may not be the quarterback of the future. Hold on.
I understand what you're saying.
They
got
have
Rattler, but
quarterbacks. Well, I'm sorry. It was Steelers that made me the angriest.
Yeah, no,
and
he's
then
out though. He's out for the
he's out for the year.
Oh wow.
So Steelers,
Yeah, he got like broken shoulder.
Steelers made me the angriest, and then New Orleans. Okay.
Yep.
Now, like I said, do you feel? Let's go back to the draft process about Shedeur. People started talking about his interviews. People started talking about his demeanor, how he carries himself, how he acts. Do you feel that there's anything that could make that process better to where, because to me, if a lot of that stuff was true, why was he still so high on everybody's boards?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if he was though.
No, if it was what?
High on their board.
No, I'm talking about on everybody's media. Now, the separation.
Yeah, you got to say media, yeah.
Yeah, but like we're talking about your McShay, you're talking about your Mel Kiper, you're talking about like top tier people that get that information.
Well,
It's
they
just so
could have been
weird.
being fed BS, which was my entire point by saying there's a disconnect. Like
if you want to say Shedeur is a third round prospect, I'm cool with that. But fifth,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you get to the third,
but
NFL. So here, you guys were talking about it earlier, like by position. To me, position doesn't matter. In the first 3 rounds, the only position that should not be a starter in the first 3 rounds is a quarterback, and that's only if you want to sit your quarterback to learn. If you're picked in the first 3 rounds, you should be coming to training camp with the mindset that team picked you to be a starter, and you better get your ass in gear.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Anything after the third round is whatever. You're a special teamer. You're a backup. You can compete for that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, whatever. You're probably not going to be a starter. Now, if you're a lineman, a guard, a tackle, something, maybe. But I can understand him not going in the first 3 if every team has that thought. Like, we can't waste a pick unless he's a starter. But once the 4th round gets there, buddy.
And you're talking.
He went a full round and a half after that.
You're talking strictly football resume at this point. Not him, not how he carries himself, not Dion, not all the additional stuff, just strictly. Now, because I'll tell you this, and I've talked about it on this podcast before, I am a resume person, okay? Like, to me, your resume is typically who you are. It's rare for a lot of people to like, it has to take a special person to like, if you got a bad resume, to flip that and really become something. It takes a special person, and not a lot of people are like that. I feel like Shedeur built the on-field resume to justify where the media had him going.
Yeah.
Okay? Now let's talk about him, Dion, and all that, internet reaction and all that stuff.
So, this is my take. I feel this is one of those things where 2 things could be true. The NFL, nothing is more important than the shield. We know that. I do think some owners took the chance to say, hey, you know what? This kid comes in here, he's cocky, blah, blah, blah. We don't like that. Let's humble him. I'm not going to go as far as some people saying they're doing what they did to Kaepernick. Now, if Shedeur went undrafted, maybe my take will be a little different. Now, so let me finish. I got some more thoughts. So let me finish. So the rumor I read that he went into the interviews with the teams he didn't want to go to and bombed them. Now, I will say this. This is still your job. Now, granted, I get it. You don't want to compete at Pro Day or Combine. I get that. But the interview process, when we're going over X and O's, you need to show what you know. And if the coach is like, well, this guy's he's a dick, I don't want him on my team, I get that.
Oh, you done?
Yeah, for now. For now. That's why I said
Well,
two things could be true because people's like, oh my God, the NFL is racist. Now, I will say this.
Okay, so
NFL has a racial bias. Yes. You're black, you can't be cocky, blah, blah,
really
blah.
hard to use that in this,
The
though.
owners of NFL teams are, this is not me saying all owners. There are plenty of owners in the NFL who are racist motherfuckers. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
When Stephen A said whatever he said,
Stephen A. so
I sent
ridiculous.
you the text about like my feelings before this discussion, like the other day. There is absolutely no way that someone who owns an organization worth $2 billion, $4 billion, $5, $6 billion is colluding with another person who owns a competing organization worth $5 billion to keep a quarterback out of the league if they think he can win them a Super Bowl. You're an absolute moron if you think competing organizations in a $10 billion business or whatever are colluding to keep someone out of football.
Now, hold on. Now,
if you think he can win.
Now, I would believe that as a fact. So then your point disagrees with 10 Point then.
No.
No, because 10 Point is that they were trying to teach him a type of lesson type thing.
That's not what you said, is it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel they like nothing is bigger than the shield. And I do, it's like you say, it's weird because I do feel the owners, because remember what happened to Lamar Jackson when he wanted that contract? And you telling me nobody wanted to pick up Lamar Jackson?
No, I don't.
Is that are we comparing apples to oranges? You think with that?
I don't think that's the same thing. I think other teams definitely. He still got $250 million or whatever.
Well, look how long they made him wait.
Signed. I get it, but
hold on.
$250
Make him wait, and him being his own agent. There's a lot of different variables with Lamar Jackson. He's his own agent too.
Who, Lamar?
Yeah.
I thought his mom was.
No, he is. So he's his own agent. Okay. So like,
I don't look at that situation as no one wanted Lamar Jackson. I wanted the Raiders to sign Lamar, but at that point in time, if teams aren't really to give someone $50 million a year, this is before the Mahomes contract. Don't forget that.
No, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Didn't Mahomes get like another contract right after the first Super Bowl? Like immediately after the first Super Bowl?
No.
I thought he got that $500 million right off the bat.
No.
Oh, I'm not sure.
They lost.
I'm not sure.
He lost to Tampa Bay.
No, the first Super Bowl. After the first Super Bowl, when I thought he signed $500 million for 10 years, whatever. Man, I could be wrong.
They beat San Francisco.
I could be wrong when they beat San Francisco.
That was after Tampa Bay.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
First Super Bowl, they played Kansas City.
No,
I'm sorry. Kansas City played
what the opponents were, but I'm pretty sure he lost to Tampa Bay first. No,
No, that was like the third. No. That was like his third Super Bowl.
No.
And given the NFL's history, no one would be surprised, I guess, if I don't want to say the word, if they were colluding. I just don't think, for me, I'm not standing on the hill to act like I'm going to march on Selma for Shedeur Sanders. That's just not happening.
Okay, so.
That's not happening.
I'm sorry, Joe. Were you making your point?
I thought you were saying something else.
So, I'm sorry, Joe. Were you making your point? I don't want to, like, go.
No. Yeah, so he won one Super Bowl, and then that Tampa Bay game happened. So that wasn't his
So I do have another point. It's like Shedeur, you can be arrogant and cocky with Deion's talent. You don't have Deion's talent to be that arrogant and cocky.
I feel like a lot of this is just misguided and misplaced understanding of like his situation. This is just me, okay? Here's the one thing that I think I have a hard time with, and this is mainly social media, internet people, and stuff like that.
There's no nuance, ever.
You know, how I feel like, and I feel like this about just job interviews just in general anywhere. There's a couple things I want to say about that. I feel like all job interviews should be recorded, video recorded, transcribed or something, just for that additional proof to protect everybody.
Okay.
And I only say that because, and I don't know about George, I don't know I don't know about you, I've hired 80 plus people in my career. I've hired a lot of people, sat in a lot of interviews, done a lot of interviews and stuff like that. And I've sat on other people's panels and interviewed things like that. And I've seen the things that they've said and how they've acted. And I went, probably some stuff that I probably should have reported to HR and stuff. But I said, you know what? I will never deal with this person ever again because I know how they are.
As far as the people on the panel interviewing the person?
About the person and the reason why somebody didn't get hired and things like that.
Okay.
When I look at Shedeur, okay, I have a really hard time why it feels like, I could be wrong, why it feels like and seems like nobody can understand why somebody wouldn't like him. Like, there is people that I don't like, and I really don't have a reason. Like, I just go like, something about this cat this cat could be saving a puppy, adopting a kid, and pulling a person on a fight. And I go, I don't know about this cat. Shedeur is a person that, to me, would be really hard to like and get to know and be around. I like him, but I'm man watching TV, hanging out because I just think he's young and cool and he does good things every once in a while. I like Dion. I probably more of the Dion thing with Shedeur than what it is. Let's talk about his attitude and demeanor. You can be so cocky when your dad has been your coach forever. Your dad is never going to replace you in that position. He's never going to get anybody who could ever compete with you for your job. So you're the man all the time.
Yeah.
And you can act like the man because your daddy is the one that's there. He has zero experience with any other coach. So he doesn't even know how to act around an interview with somebody who ain't his daddy. His daddy...
That's Dion's fault for not preparing him.
Now, I will say that because here's the thing. If you're a Shedeur... And let's talk about interviews. We talked about dressing up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I don't care if my son is the top soccer player in the world. When he goes to meet with these teams and clubs and stuff like that and he has to sit down, he's going to dress a certain way. I'm not going to say he's going to come in there in a suit, tuxedo, nothing like that. He's going to dress a certain way. I could definitely see Shedeur walking in there covered in diamonds, okay?
Okay. Diamonds dancing.
Dancing. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that that's a problem, but your demeanor with it is a problem. How you answer questions, how you talk, how you respond, how you complete sentences, how you hold yourself. Things like that matter if you're going to come like that. George knows how I feel about seeing like NBA players who never play sitting on the bench dripped in diamonds. I hate seeing Zion sitting on the corner shining like that. Buddy, to me, it's a slap in the face in the team. It's a slap in the face of an owner. It's a slap at everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your money. I'm shining over here on the bench. I never played for you. Thank you very much. To me, it's a disrespectful thing. And people can say, oh, he's young. I don't believe in that, okay? I also don't believe in that, oh, he's a kid. And I don't believe in that no more. Once you feel like you can start doing whatever you want, you ain't no kid more to me. I don't care. Just because I'm old and you're younger than me don't make you a kid.
Now, don't get me wrong. I want to be clear. I don't want people to think, oh, you don't like cocky players. Oh, I love people being cocky in sports.
I love it.
But for the interview process, you have to take it serious.
Way differently. I love the cockiness and the sureness of himself. I love it because guess what? I never have to worry about that of him. He can go out there, throw 10 interceptions and still think he the shite the next day. And I love that because guess what? I don't got to build your confidence back up. I got to get your mind right to understand. As long as you can understand what you did was wrong on the field, then I don't need to work on your confidence. You'll figure it out. I like that. I love Shedeur Sanders. I like him because I just think it brings something, a different energy that a lot of teams actually need, okay? But let me tell you something. If you go into that interview process acting a certain way, I'm sorry. I could definitely look at Shedeur and be like, Cat's like, I just don't like this cat. Now, Dion and all that, look, he didn't prepare Shedeur, period. I don't care what anybody says. Deion Sanders, to me, is, if you want to argue a great head, I think he's one of the greatest motivational speakers of all time. I don't know about head coach, okay? I don't know. He makes it happen. It is what it is, and he makes teams better wherever he goes. But, like, let's not act like Colorado. Let's not act like that.
Somebody said Deion runs Colorado like Master P ran No Limit. I could not stop laughing. He compared Shiloh. They compared Shiloh and Shedeur to Silk and C Murder. I thought that was so funny.
This is what I also thought was funny, right? I also thought it was funny how when he finally got drafted, and this really bothered me. I'm sorry, it really did. And the catch was like, bro, what are you talking about? He's a kid. It's the new day and age. When he finally got drafted, let's talk about all the other players. Every player, it didn't matter if they went in the first or in the very last round. Players were with their mom, their dad in the kitchen, in the living room. It was just them two, them three, family in the living room, same thing. He finds out he getting drafted. Them goofballs are in front of a camera streaming, like in a teenager bedroom in front of a camera streaming.
I don't think nothing wrong with that. That's old man. I don't think nothing wrong with that.
Stop. Because here's the thing. It's the 5th round now. I can't even look and go like, you care. Like, you playing. He finds out, like, you get drafted. Where your mama and daddy at? Like, why you ain't watching the draft sitting with them? Why are y'all in front of this
I don't think that's that bad.
Come on, fam.
I don't think that's that bad.
Fam, sitting in front of that thing and then immediately playing them sound effects like, do-do-do-do-do-do. Come on.
That's a good time. Just having a good time with his family. I don't think nothing wrong with that.
No. You get drafted, hug your mama, hug your daddy, everybody in the living room, in the kitchen. Thank you, finally appreciate everybody. Then you go play around on the internet. Them cats is in a bedroom, like a teenage bedroom. Stop it, bro, stop. And then I go like this. That's exactly what they talking about. You come across a certain way. Doesn't take away from your football skill.
But see, I got to push back on that.
You come across a certain way.
I got to push back on that because these owners and coaches act like, oh my God, you supposed to, bend the knee, thank. Like, don't get me wrong, be thankful, but they want you to be. They want this sob story. They want this. Oh my God, he came from a single parent home, and
no,
he's just so thankful to be here.
About that, they don't care.
Well, maybe that's a
about
media
that.
thing.
That's probably a media thing too. Look, I'm not sitting here saying that Shedeur has to change as a person.
Yeah.
Using words and monikers like legendary all week, and you ain't did nothing. You know one head coach in your entire life, and that's your dad. There are 0 championships tied to Deion and Shedeur. Maybe high school, I don't know.
Facts.
0 championships.
They did not win the MEAC. They didn't. Jackson State lost
Jackson
2 years in a row
State
to
lost
South Carolina
2
State.
years in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
There are 0 championships tied to you and your daddy together. I don't know about high school, but you and your daddy ain't got nothing. Colorado ain't even got a playoff berth. Let's not get it twisted. I don't think they even got any one of those whack bowl games. Like
They was in the Alamo last year.
No, did they win it though? They got whooped on.
Yeah, they got smashed.
They got smashed.
Yeah.
So you don't have much to stand on, and you got these monikers like legendary. That chain. Let's talk about everybody in the draft.
Okay.
I have a big issue with how them cats be dressed and how they be looking. Okay, here's my thing. This is forever. Grills and gaudy chains.
They kids.
They're not kids today.
Kids.
Don't do that.
They kids.
That's when cats want to be like they kids. No. Them is grown men, and this is forever.
I think
We're
in a different era.
This is a me thing. This is a me thing.
Even still,
this is
outside of what you're saying right now, you still shouldn't do that when you go meet with your employer. You're on a job. You're
As far as wearing a chain?
Just being. Just doing anything that would put a improper image out there when you're going to meet your employer. Like, people talk about bad interviews or whatever. He could have answered questions wrong about, like, what is this? Tell me what the defense is doing right here.
X dagger Y. Who's your
you know
X?
What I mean? Like,
Who's
he
your
could have
Z?
got that wrong, too. It's not all about, like, having chains and stuff on. But if you go in there carrying yourself a certain way, I can see why a team would be like, he got that question wrong and he acting stupid, man. We don't want him.
That's the point I made earlier. Like, cool. I'm not saying that no other person walks in interviews wearing chains and diamonds and whatnot.
I don't mind the chains.
I don't mind it. Now, you mind it if you come in here and you on your P's and Q's, I'm cool with it. But if you like, I don't know, I'm just here to do my thing, I pop my ball player. That's all you got for me? No, thank you. So I don't look at Shedeur and go, why on earth wouldn't you draft him? I could see why somebody wouldn't, okay? I could, even though he has the on-field resume, which we've seen many years.
Hold on a second.
Plenty
There's
of
no
players.
way you agree fully with what Stephen A. is saying. Come on.
What did Stephen A. say? I don't really watch Stephen A.
No, well, it wasn't on the TV. It was what he tweeted about the draft.
He
was saying it was full-on collusion between the teams.
No,
to not pick him.
no.
Okay, see,
I
we do
don't.
agree.
No.
Well, here's the thing.
I had said my opinion may be different if he went undrafted.
I wouldn't even believe that. Well, okay, so let's do this. Okay.
Well, somebody tweeted that he should go so he could determine what team he wanted to go to, and I'm like, I understand what the point he was trying to make, but that's an even bigger slap in the face if you don't get drafted at all.
Here's my
He'll
thing.
never live that down.
And that's
Stephen A's a clown.
That's only my issue.
Well, that's why I brought it up.
That's only my issue with regards to Shedeur and Deion, how he carries himself.
Yeah.
You know one coach, so you don't know how to act around any other coaches at all. That's one. Two, you're always protected, so you can act as cocky and on top of the world. You could drive a Mercedes-Benz in the middle of the 50-yard line covered in diamonds, and you're always quarterback. It's never going to change.
I don't care about him acting flashy and doing whatever else, but if you do that and you don't know your assignment.
Yeah, if you don't know the X's and O's on the whiteboard, yeah, fam.
Here's the thing.
We have no idea what he did. I'm just making the point that his interviews went bad, but we have no idea what he did.
That right there is a point to make if you just go, like the point I made earlier. I can literally give you names of cats. I can give you names of cats who are some of probably the best humans on earth. And I just be like, I don't like this. There's something about this.
Let me say this. It's one thing to not know the answer and be like, but I'm eager to learn it though. And another thing to be like, I don't know the answer, move on to the next question or something like that.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's why I brought the point of the process changing. I need transcripts. I need proof. I need all this. I'm over word of mouth at this point.
Yeah,
It's 2025.
fair enough.
I'm over word of mouth. Hey, interview future football player. We're going to turn these cameras on to protect us and you. These will be provided based on any information that comes out that isn't true on our part or your part to protect both of us. Because I'm tired of word of mouth.
Because it was another story, anonymous GM saying, "Oh, his guy's a jerk," and blah blah blah.
And I can see it. I'm sorry. I can see it.
You sound like Colin, because Colin Cowherd was like, yeah, he comes in there with the chain. Like, I don't want that. I don't want my quarterback wearing a backwards hat.
No.
That's different.
It's not about the chain because maybe every person that walked in on the interview had a chain on. It's not about the chain. It's about, cool, we get
Jackson
you're like
Dart
this.
might have been on his P's and Q's when he was in there. That might be the difference.
We get why you're like this.
Because I'll tell you what, Jackson Dart is cocky too. I'm sure you've seen how he plays at Ole Miss. Jackson Dart's not one of those BYU square butt.
But in an interview,
you know what I mean?
he may have like, oh, okay, I'm taking this serious.
I blame Dion for that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I agree on
do.
that.
Now let's talk about the.
I'm not going to go that far, but I understand what you're saying.
No. I blame Dion for that because you go, hey, son, you've only known me. Everybody's not me. You're not going to get away with what you got away with me. The world is different out there. I had to stop coaching my son. He's a kid. He's only, I coached Cortez his entire soccer time.
The reason why I say I'm not going to go there is because he may have done that. But
okay, let's make sure we put the cover on that. What we're saying is based off what we don't know.
Right.
I don't know. He may have pulled them aside and done all that. I don't know. But there are these things that I go, I just don't like it. Going to the club after you get drafted and stuff, I got no problem with that or whatnot. But like, it's just the over the topness.
Yeah, he's
of
gaughty.
It.
It's
like, brother, like you went.
Well, it's not about going to the club. But
it's not the club.
Buddy took like luggage in there and opened it up.
So his brother, his brother Deion Sanders Jr. said those were gifts given to him.
Yeah, they were gifts that were given to him, but it's still like you look at it. I don't want. Even if the perception of me is exaggerated and even go as far to say not true, at this point, being drafted in the 5th round and dealing with what I deal with, let's go ahead and tone it down just a little bit. Let's go ahead and figure it out.
That's not him.
I think for me, it's just human behavior in general. It has nothing to do with him specifically. Just like the whole Vegas lifestyle of like, look at me, I got this, I got that. Like that just rubs me the wrong way to begin with. It has nothing to do with Shedeur or anyone. He's a massive self-promoter.
See, that's a little different.
What?
Because seeing Vegas people like that and like just
no, I'm not
Vegas,
using that as an example.
Example, yes. Seeing people like that, they already got it. They don't want it. They don't want nothing else. Seeing you come in here to tell me that you want more, you want something, but you already dripping and you covered in diamonds, you acting like a Hall of Famer already, you ain't did nothing, that's a different thing. I could deal with rich person Gotti out in the street because they not coming to me saying like, I'm the man, I got it. They not doing that. So it's like, cool, you just whatever, you just gross. But like you coming to me a certain way, and that chain he had on, getting drafted in the 5th round, fam, that chain was gone. I didn't see it the 2nd round. I didn't see it the 2nd day, this 3rd day. That chain was stupid. It's over the top. Yo. Now, I'm not blaming him. That's where you go, man. I hope that he's sitting there and he's going, okay, all right. They think I'm not good enough. Cool, I got this. Let's go ahead and get outside. Let's get to work. As soon as I would have got drafted by the Browns, I would have been on the phone to, you got the keys to the practice? I'm headed out on the first thing smoking. Yeah. I got me an apartment out there. Let's get to work. Now, let's talk about the Browns. Do you feel any way about the Browns drafting him? Good, bad, indifferent?
I only feel I'll say weird because they took Gabriel in the 3rd. Why did they take him in the 5th? You have like 9. They have like 15 quarterbacks on their depth chart.
I don't know what they're doing in general.
Yeah,
unrelated to Shedeur.
Yeah, I'm just so confused.
They should have just picked Shedeur in the 3rd, and then they would have had another pick to use on a different position.
So here's the thing with the Browns. To me, the Browns, I have zero respect for the Browns organization now. Zero.
With the whole Deshaun Watson thing?
No. That is what it is. Deshaun Watson was great. The freakazoid. But
hold on a second. That just bringing up Deshaun Watson makes, I think, another point for me saying what Stephen A. said absurd makes even more sense. The Browns are willing to give that man $230 million unchecked, like fully guaranteed, because they thought he could win them a Super Bowl.
So the little respect and
there was no collusion on that. I mean,
the little respect and I don't know, football, no, whatever you want to say about the Browns, I thought they had, it flew out the window for me. Because here's the thing. You've ruined all your credibility to me as an organization, as a GM, as a coach, as a decision maker, as an owner. You ruined all that with me by drafting Shedeur. They had no business drafting Shedeur after you draft Gabriel. Because here's the deal. You can make an argument on why you drafted Gabriel over Shedeur.
Yeah.
A Heisman finalist, stats are better, more wins, bigger bowl games. His Gabriel on paper is better than Shedeur. Now, not in like accuracy percentage and stuff like that.
Well, he doesn't have an arm.
In certain physical things, but on paper, you can justify we drafted a Heisman finalist. His stats are this. He played in big bowl games. He won over so many games in Oregon. What are you talking about? He's better than Shedeur. You can argue that. But once you draft Shedeur, then you throw all that out the window. Now you just look stupid. And you look like petty and ridiculous at this
And then you had some of the Browns teammates after Shedeur got drafted. I think it was Denzel Ward saying,
Yeah, he only
let's be
congratulated
legendary. And that sets a precedent in your locker room like, oh, well, damn, they already chose who would be the starter.
I'm sorry, what happened?
He only
Denzel
said that
Ward.
about Shedeur. He didn't say that about Taylor, whatever, Dylan Gabriel or whatever.
Denzel Ward tweeted, let's be legendary or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And see, if I'm Dylan Gabriel, I'm heated because I go, wow, they drafted me in the third. They must have really liked my interview. They must have liked my game. They must have liked my film. They liked me. Wow, I have an opportunity on a team who needs a quarterback. He didn't get drafted to be they don't even have a starter. If you want to make Joe Flacco the starter for this year, knock yourselves out. Watson's gone. Winston's gone. Well, Watson's out for the year. Dylan Gabriel lost his job as soon as he got drafted. Like, it doesn't even.
Not necessarily, but
It's over.
Still got to compete and
I
count.
don't think so, because if Shedeur really is a fifth-round quarterback like the NFL seems to think, it ain't going to matter. But here's the thing. The one thing that, if you want to do a conspiracy-ish theory thing, the one thing that kind of makes sense from the Browns' perspective is they drafted Shedeur to play him 50% of the reps in the preseason and then trade him for maybe a second-round pick or third-round pick or something next year.
I don't think
that's if you want to do the.
I don't think no one knows what the Browns are doing.
The Browns don't know what the Browns are doing. That's the problem.
And they have a history of making poor decisions. With
so I'm not gonna sit here and here's the thing too as well. Sure don't want to go to Cleveland. Like, what are we talking about here? Deion don't want him in Cleveland. But now
I like Cleveland, by the way. I've said that many times on this show.
And here's the thing.
As a football player, I don't want to go to Cleveland.
I like Cleveland fans. I love their fans.
I've never been to Cleveland.
No, I mean, I like the city. I got family there, so it's different. But.
So, look, we're going to see what's going to happen. But what people need to understand and get over this, I'm not sitting here on some race stuff. I'm not sitting here on none of that. 95% of the draft was black people. Like, relax, all right? This doesn't qualify to me in that moment about race at this moment. This qualifies to me about, like, I don't know if I like this cat. It's too much for me. It may be stupid because, shoot, he may go out there and kill it and be the next God knows what, all right? But at the same time, well, you're going to have to deal with that later, all right? But I don't put any blame and I don't put any for nobody not drafting him. I'm sorry, I don't. When the Steelers didn't draft him, I was a little bit more bothered because I was like, but you actually don't have a quarterback. Like, you don't have one. It wasn't like a, well, you know what? They got Russell Wilson still. They got Fields and whatever. They have nobody.
Did they take Kenny Pickett in the first round a couple of years ago?
Yeah. What was he, 8 overall?
I think here's
that may be high.
The thing that NFL teams should know, and the reason they should know it is because people who do statistics on Twitter know it. You go back and look at the teams that have been successful, and by successful, I mean making like a championship game, making a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, the last, whatever it was, 20 years, whatever the study I saw was. Every single one of those quarterbacks was picked like in the top 12 picks or something like that. Quarterbacks picked from I don't remember exactly what it was, but quarterbacks picked from like 13 through the end of the draft, 13 overall, or maybe it was 15 overall, who knows, through the end of the draft have not won anything. Yes, Lamar has 2 MVPs or 3 MVPs or whatever it is. I would absolutely take Lamar on my team. I'm happy about the quarterback that I did get. But
yeah, but you're talking now.
NFL,
would you at draft time of drafting Lamar?
What do you mean?
Like, we all want him now.
2018
yeah,
on that thing?
We all want him now.
I don't remember what the Raiders.
I wouldn't have. I'll be honest.
I don't remember what
I
their
wouldn't have.
quarterback situation. Oh, they had Carr, so probably not. I mean, because that was when Carr still 2018. People were still like, oh, he can win. But the point I'm trying to make is, you would think NFL teams would know, hey guys, we got to pick our quarterbacks early. Like, I get take a flyer on somebody late in a draft or whatever, but these teams that still draft these guys late in the first or in the second or whatever, and they're hoping to make them into a star or win, it just ain't gonna happen, man. Like, you got to get your quarterback in the first 10, 12, 15 picks because, you know, everyone knows this guy's a superstar, instead of, hey, we think we're geniuses and you guys are idiots. It just don't work.
Because I'm trying to think outside. If we think of the top 10 quarterbacks, Purdy is the only one that went super late.
As far as like a team making it kind of far,
Yep.
yeah. Lamar was at the end of the first round.
Mahomes was what?
Look at the quarterbacks who won championships recently. Stafford, number 1 overall. Mahomes went 10. Who's won Super Bowls besides those two
Brady?
guys?
Brady's been the last, whatever that was. Obviously, he was.
Brady.
Yeah, but he was picked in 2000.
Trying to think.
Josh Allen was what, 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there?
No Super Bowl though.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
of the teams that have been really good. Burrow, number 1.
Jared Goff, number 1.
Yeah, Goff, number 1. Burrow, number 1.
Jalen Hurts went 3rd round.
That's probably the one. No, he was picked early too, 2nd round or something, beginning of the 2nd round. So that's probably the one exception recently was him.
Think.
Hey Siri, when was Jalen Hurts drafted? That's probably not the right
Joe
question.
Birch was drafted in the 3rd round.
Okay. Siri is lame. That's why I only talk to Alexa and
53rd
Google.
overall, 2nd round.
Okay, and Dak was what, 4th round?
4th round.
He ain't won nothing.
Well,
Dak is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Hold on.
He ain't won nothing.
Hold on. We talking about quarterbacks winning, not won anything. Because all the quarterbacks you just named, none of them have won anything except Mahomes.
No, but they've
Hurts,
all been.
and that's it.
Burrow's been a Super Bowl.
Do you consider Josh? Do you consider
Josh Allen's
Herbert?
been to 3 AFC championship
Do you
games.
consider Herbert a top 10 quarterback in the league?
A top 10 quarterback? Probably. Because, I mean, I don't think you go that deep. Pause. I mean.
Actually, yeah, I do, and I don't like him, but yes, I do.
And the one reason why I'm excited about my quarterback is because his numbers in domes are, like, astronomical compared to playing outside in Seattle.
Who's y'all backup?
Who the backup? Probably
Raiders.
Aiden O'Connell, unless they trade him.
Minshew went to where?
He's
Colts?
don't
I forgot where
hear
he
that
went.
name ever again.
Anyways, well, I don't know. Like I said, I want literally for Shedeur to go out there and kill it. I want him to be the one to save the
You ain't got no
Browns.
choice.
And I want that. And I want it to be something. The problem is that now the Browns have put them in a situation where nobody ahead of Shedeur is going to matter.
I mean, the one
Period.
thing you
None
can
of
say
them.
is when and I guess there aren't a ton of games when it's cold out, but Colorado's cold, playing in Boulder and playing in Cleveland. It's not like he's not going to be used to playing in the cold, so it might work. Maybe
It
that's
does
what
matter.
the Browns were thinking, but at the same time, why you pick a Hawaii kid?
Yeah, that pick. Yeah,
Buddy.
You know how Oregon quarterbacks are just as bad as Alabama quarterbacks and Ohio State quarterbacks to me.
I'll be honest with you. I understand what you're saying about him being in the Heisman ceremony and whatever.
I didn't understand
He
it.
should not have been drafted.
Yes, and yeah, but that's 100%. I have no issue with that. It's just that like once you draft him, you have an argument. You got legs to stand on, and nobody can go. Nah, you can go. He was a Heisman finalist. His stats are better than Shedeur.
No,
He's won bigger
that's what
games.
you're
He's been
saying.
in bowl games. He has all the things where you go, huh? But in reality, you look at him and go,
Yeah, but players aren't drafted based on that. They're based
know.
on what they do in the Senior Bowl.
no,
or
no.
What you put on tape.
You're right,
or
but
attributes.
you have an argument. You have no argument.
Well, not for
what's
NFL teams, for
what's
casual
your
people,
argument
whatever, sure.
for drafting Shedeur? Except for you really plan on not giving Gabriel a shot. You just didn't want to give Shedeur a big bucks and all that. You want to get him in as a cheap as low as possible. Get rid of Gabriel because he ain't gonna cut it. He's not a better football player than
Shedeur
Shedeur.
gonna sell jerseys.
Period. All right.
Well, the only thing, he already is number one in the league. Or
No,
something
he's
like
number 3.
Oh,
number
no,
1 is
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter.
Number 2 is who was number 2?
probably Cam Ward.
Cam Ward number 2, 3 Shedeur. Jackson Dart was like 5 or 4 or something like that. So, anyways, internet's making a big deal. Before we go talk about sneakers in a little bit, internet making a big deal about Saquon going to see Trump. Matter? Big deal, little deal, no deal.
Let him go first.
Let him go first.
So
Now, the reason why I say that is because you already know how I feel.
I don't know how you feel.
In general, I'm talking about not on this specific topic. In general, we all pretty much believe the same thing in politics for the most part, but he's really the only one who literally be on social media doing it. So that's why I say
this is what I'll say. I think there's a difference between
his account. He tweets a lot about politics. I just don't. I'm old and I don't care anymore. Though.
I think there's a difference between visiting the White House as a team and going kick it with the president. Of course, you can do what you want, but I cannot stand when people say, I'm not being political. You're being political when you choose to golf with Trump. You choose to do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. That's a choice that you're making.
Hanging out with the president and saying not being political.
And he was like, well, it's not political, and y'all get out of my mentions. And what really pissed me off, I respect the office. Get out of here with that, because I feel... When Obama was in office, I want to say a couple of guys from hockey and baseball didn't go. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't this whole you need to respect the house and go.
It was gonna be like that though.
But
we come to know that.
Why is this so like? Why is Saquon?
Hold on. Can I ask a question? Why is him saying he respects the office such a big deal?
Hold on. Before you answer, I'm gonna tell you why Greg believes this. Because Greg worked in Washington on Capitol Hill, so he's a big Washington holds a lot of panache guy.
Okay. 2 words.
Am I wrong?
That's fine.
I'm right?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm trying to explain.
That's fine.
Because even maybe Andy and Rico don't know that when you was telling them that in the thread. All
right.
That's why.
So I got a question.
Yes.
People who work there feel different about what the town's value is than people who've never been there. Or
Donald Trump sent an invite to your house. Greg, I want you to come to the White House and kick it with me. Come play golf. Would you go?
Like this. On the airplane.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's the thing why.
Okay, I'm listening.
Whatever you've done in your life, regardless of who's going to be there, to get an invitation like that is not going to come back around.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big proponent of understanding right and wrong. That don't mean I vote for you or like you or agree with you. But here's the deal. This country has already made its decisions. Y'all done made y'all decision. Look what y'all done did. All right? Now, here's the thing with me as well. I don't be on social media posting how I feel and what I think and all that. So can't nobody say nothing to me about what I go do. What are you going to say? You ain't going to pull up no old tweets. You ain't going to pull up no posts. Greg, you were saying this the other day. You ain't going to pull up none of that. Because, and I vote Democrat. Let me tell you something. Just like George said, I worked in D.C. for quite some time. I was going to be a lobbyist. And it's the first thing my mentor told me when I was out there. He said, this is a unspoken rule, and it's they rule, and it's everyone knows it. It's the rule. If whatever party gives you an opportunity, that's your party. I'm not Democrat because of anything else, because that's who gave me an opportunity.
Pistons won, by the way.
I think the Bucks did too. And Bucks was trying to scrap. Giannis was trying to scrap your man up.
What's the score?
Pacers OT win.
The
Series
Bucks
over.
Oh, Giannis, boy, he was trying to scrap your young boy up.
Pistons won by 3.
In New York? Ooh, Knicks may be in trouble. Anyways, so...
Well, you saw what the refs... We'll probably talk about this topic next or whatever, but you saw what the refs did after that game, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know. So I don't have that same view for that. Let's talk about a team going. Let's talk about players going or whatnot. They try to make the big deal about Shohei going. Shohei's not even American. Who cares? He probably didn't even know who Trump was. Thank you very much. He in the building. He don't know what's going on. If I win the Super Bowl, World Series, NBA championship, I'm going to the White House, okay? I don't give a shite who in that month. Because here's the thing. I'm there because I won a championship.
Yeah.
What are you telling me? I got to wait 4 years and hope to win another one? I may not win another championship ever again to get that invite. That's 1, 2. There's a lot of cats who feel a certain way about the White House and go visit D.C. and be in front of the White House like this. But they won't go inside, though. What are you talking about?
And I think...
I'm sorry, one more thing. Just because Saquon Barkley runs fast and jump over people backwards, what makes you think he's not a Republican?
Fair. Fair.
In what?
Fair. That is totally fair.
He said that jump backwards. What does that got to do with anything?
Because
that's fair.
Because that's how people look at athletes and people that they like.
So this is my take. In today's social climate,
that's funny.
We all are smart enough to know if you take a picture with a certain candidate, you're endorsing them without endorsing them, pretty much. And for him,
No, he's saying the perception, public perception.
And it's like, Saquon, you're acting obtuse and like, oh my God, why all these people in my comments? And
Yeah, that's stupid.
Wait. Before you get too far, and let me say what I was going to say first. The biggest problem with the Saquon thing isn't what you said or what you said. It's if you look at, somebody pulled this up and screenshotted it. If you look at his tweets from the George Floyd
That don't mean
aftermath.
nothing.
Why?
Because you can understand right and wrong. You can still feel a certain way about where you go and your alliance lies and still recognize that something is wrong. I can still go, that situation
No,
right there
that's
is...
not the point I'm making.
Okay.
The point I'm making is he was tweeting like, I'm going to put this in parentheses, he was tweeting at the time like a social justice warrior. Now, 5 years later, you can't be yucking it up. It's different to just go play golf, cool, we shake hands, whatever, and be yucking it up. And you tweeted out.
That's the same thing, though.
No, it's not.
Playing golf and yucking it up, just same thing.
it is.
Same thing.
Nah, I
Yeah.
don't look at it that way.
Like, they're not out there like this. Don't they just
I'm not saying they're mad dogging each other the whole time.
I know, but she playing
it's
golf,
probably-
he's yucking it.
Yeah, but he's probably not, buddy. They probably play with like 32 players. You know what I mean? Like it's probably like 8 groups of 4 or something. Like it's not 2. It was him one group.
I don't know.
My point again is, it's hypocritical. I don't like hypocrisy in general. You can't be sending this out over here, and a couple years later, you like, because you won a Super Bowl, you or something like a switch flipped, and you like, oh yeah, now I'm cool with you and we can hang out, buddy. That's the only problem for me. Don't do the first thing, and then the second thing don't matter.
Yeah, but you know what? Every time I see Obama around Trump, they having a good old time and
That
laughing.
has nothing to do with it.
You're a president. You have to be
Presidents are
cordial. You
I
have
think
to be
Obama
cordial
and
as a
Bush are
president.
like best friends.
And let me explain
I think
something
them cats
to
be
you.
hanging out on
When I
different
was in
beers and stuff.
D.C.,
What
and
years were you there?
during Bush,
Okay. 04? No.
when I was there and I got the opportunity to be around Bush and
Look,
talk
very
to...
clearly, Saquon is okay with the policies because
what?
What do you mean?
Because they went golfing and hung out? Or
Absolutely.
No, I don't
For
think.
me, absolutely.
You think...
No,
Hold on.
I don't. It's okay. You must think he just like went to like shake hand and hang out with him, play a little golf. No, I think that Trump is Saquon's buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, hold on. Buddy
I don't
and
think the ca- I don't
agreement...
think- I don't
Buddy and agreement are two different things, man.
what do you mean?
Look...
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Saquon just voted for him a couple months ago.
Duh, like why not? Yeah, of course. That's why I don't know why anybody think he wouldn't otherwise.
So why are you disagreeing with what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know for sure. Like
Right.
I don't know for sure he did. But here's the thing too.
Right, but if you
No,
sending all
I
these
can-
things out back then where you're like super one side and then all of a sudden you flip. Again,
And I know people probably aren't gonna like what I'm saying and things like that.
hypocrisy
And then-
in general is
and
my
then-
issue. It has nothing to do with Saquon specifically.
And then
Hypocrisy.
it doesn't help because I'm
You
sure
can't shake your head at hypocrisy.
because I'm sure
I mean, that's
I'm
like-
sure y'all probably seen the old
hypocrisy is
tweets.
undefeated.
I'm sure y'all probably seen the old tweets his wife had posted. Like
Oh yeah, I seen them too.
that doesn't help his case.
With the white pool, I didn't see it.
Oh
Just
God.
saying an N word a million times.
She said, "I'm gonna bag me
Oh,
in,"
yeah,
Not
saying
with
all
the
that.
ER, but whatever.
I seen that.
and it's
I
like,
don't care about none of that, and I'm not saying it in a racist way. I'm just saying.
and it's
that
like,
that doesn't.
but to your point, like, I think we as fans,
I have
people,
no idea what context she's saying.
I think we really get upset, like someone we admire for as its entertainment, sports. We get so mad in regards to their politics. And I will say this: I tell people this all the time. Liberal as I am, when it comes to my entertainment and business, I don't care what your politics are. But if I'm going to be around you from a social standpoint,
Well,
like,
business you have to because we're seeing what being political with business is doing.
I
to the
mean,
economy, right?
for example, if someone's working on my house and I found out they're Republican, I don't care.
Yeah, that's different.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
No,
Do not care at all.
but that's not business per se. What was
So,
that reaction about?
And then,
Hold on a
and this is what Trump does. This is my personal hot take. Well, no, this is not a hot take. This is my personal feelings. Trump used black people like Saquon to be like, see, I do like black people. He's the one. He's my friend.
course he does.
You should like me too.
That's what all rich white people do.
That's politics. Like, and see, here's the thing. Now, maybe because
Wait. What was your reaction to that business thing?
Yeah. I do want to hear that.
You're not trying to say that we're in a good economic climate right now. That's
no.
not where
My
you were going with
response
that.
to the business thing is like thinking about just, and this is something I'm not going to talk about on here, but I'm thinking about you and I. I don't work with a place that I agree with a lot of stuff.
That's different though. That's different though. I feel
Here's
at
the
your
thing.
job, I don't talk politics at work ever. No, I'm lying. I have before.
Here's the thing.
I know how far to take it.
I know where it goes and lies with when people love to talk about standing on business.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just keep it 100.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Never mind, man. Never mind. Look.
I'm talking about like economic policy is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything other than. There's nothing that where we work that has to do with economic policy.
No. It's about hypocrisy and what's right and wrong and things like that we agree with and that we are vocally against.
Oh, you mean working in a business we're against? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not against the business, against a lot of the beliefs and understandings of it.
To me, it's not. If me and you work for a company that was like dumping like acids in the creek over here, that'd be a different story.
Why?
What do you mean?
Or maybe worse.
No, that is worse.
Oh, wait, which one?
Dumping chemicals in the creek over there.
I don't know. Oh.
No, because the business first of all,
That's
we don't work for a business, but the business we work for has the like. I'm not going to say benevolent, but the initial purpose of that business is to be a good thing.
That's fine. So
that's what I'm saying. It's
but
like,
the hypocrisy of it is that how?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
But that's why it's worse if your company is like the business of your company is just bad. That's completely different.
Like Saquon, how do you feel about DEI? How do you feel about Black history won't be taught in schools? It's like, are those things they don't go through Saquon's mind? That's what goes through. I'm sorry. That what goes through my mind when I look at black people that align with Trump. I think about those type of things because you have black children.
I do, and I don't, because that's politics. Like, my views on politics have changed dramatically over the past 8+ years. Like, I just don't believe in it anymore.
Okay.
I am a wrong person, and no matter what side of the line it falls on. I know what I like on this side and what I like on this side. I don't enjoy fighting hard for people who aren't willing to fight for themselves. That's one. Two, I don't enjoy fighting hard for people who are willing to respect how hard I fight for you and withhold these standards that I'm fighting for you. That's what I don't do. If I go out here and I'm willing to put my neck on the line for you, and then you still cutting up over here, I got a problem with it. When it comes to people that make decisions and stuff like that, it just is what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with how anybody actually cares about what they're talking about. It's just that at this point in time, it's just red versus blue. I won, you lost. That's it. Ha, ha, ha.
So then you should be against hypocrisy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The hypocrisy ain't going nowhere. Hypocrisy is literally what this country and nation is.
That's not a reason to stand behind it, though.
Yeah, but I don't stand behind it.
Acknowledging is what it is and saying, like, it's okay. Look, that's two different things.
Here's the thing what people need to understand. Let's just Saquon and them. What made y'all think he wasn't Republican?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? That's what the bottom line is. Like,
I have no feeling. Let me take a step to the very beginning. I have no feelings on what he is. Rich people should be Republicans. You the only ones benefiting from that policy.
We've talked about this 1,000 times on this podcast. Cats about the Kardashians. Y'all really think the Kardashians ain't vote Republican?
But again,
stop.
I
will tell you what I want on social media for you to like me, and then I will vote how I feel.
I don't care what Saquon believes deep down because he don't care what I believe, and I don't care what nobody else believes either.
Yeah, that's fine.
But my point just is the hypocrisy. If you're going to put one persona out there in public, don't flip and have another persona 4 or 5 years later.
That don't mean he doesn't agree with that. That doesn't mean he agrees.
Go back. Doesn't mean he agrees what?
Like, I could say, like, yo, this is wrong and I don't like it. That don't mean, like, me and you can't be
friends.
If
that issue is fundamentally against the person he's yucking it up with, yes, it does mean they don't. We're not talking about he was like, the opinion he put out in public was like, eating tuna fish sandwiches is gross. No, he was talking about fundamental, like, change in society. And then he's yucking it up with a person who's against that fundamental change.
That's taking those things
that's
away.
What I'm saying. That's hypocrisy.
Now,
I could care less who Saquon votes for. Buddy, you're rich. You should vote for
Now, Greg, was I outraged when I
back.
seen it? Like, no. Like, I seen some people like, oh, my God. Like, I don't care that much. Now, a couple of years ago, I probably would have. But now, this is going to sound bad. I'm becoming more selfish. I care about my wife and my son.
That's all you should care about. That's all I care about.
But I do care about others because I do understand how some people don't have the resources that you and I have.
You know what's funny?
Yeah, but that's a fundamental human thing. Humans should feel like that.
hold
That's
on.
humanity.
So
the fact that people don't feel like that is
but
the biggest problem with the planet Earth.
let's talk about the hypocrisy and things like that, and you can argue where this money comes from and stuff like that. You get a check today in the mail from that Trump says, "Hey, we're giving all citizens $5,000," and I know how he feels about black people and things like that. Do I not take that money, or do I be like, I'm standing on this? I'm not taking your money because of that. Because if I take your money, then I agree with your candidacy and your administration.
Let me answer that.
And the policies and things you put forward.
Let me answer
You
that.
can argue where that money comes from. You can argue how that money is collected and divvied out amongst.
Let me answer it.
Go ahead then.
So the answer is based upon how well off you are financially, I believe. If you're well off to the point where that money doesn't matter, you might stand on principle.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, there is.
There's
What are
no
you talking-
such thing as like that money may not matter. May not matter actually, and may not matter. Money
Yes,
is money.
there is. Buddy, you just said 5,000. There's some people that got 5,000 in their pocket every day.
That's fine, but
So that's what I'm saying. Like some people, there's no scenario you can give me that is 100% out of 100%. There's not an absolute scenario.
I got $5,000.
What do you mean?
I got $5,000. Do I take it?
But you don't got to the 5,000 you don't have the kind of money. You don't have fuck you money. All right, you ain't got the kind of money.
5,000 ain't that type of money.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have the type of money where $5K doesn't matter, you can stand on principle. But if you're a person where $5K does matter, which is 99.9% of the population,
Then it's okay to not stand on
it
it.
has nothing to do with whether it's okay or not. It's, are they going to do it? Yes, because that's going to make their life easier. But if that
Sounds like not standing on business to me.
you don't understand what I'm saying.
I do understand it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you
I
don't.
100% understand it. It's okay if you need it, and it's not okay if you don't.
I didn't use the word okay. That's your
Okay.
word. What I'm telling you,
It's
I'm answering.
understandable.
No, let me answer the question. Stop talking. If that money that you're talking about is a life changer for that person, they're going to make their decision based on how much life changing it is. If that money is not life changing, which is a very small percent of the population, they can stand on that principle. So am I going to fault someone for wanting that money or spending that money if that money changes their life? Absolutely not.
That's like people turning down
I can't fault
money
somebody
during
in that
COVID.
spot.
What was it? The stimulus check. Because some people need it. Some people were laid off. They didn't have a job. They need money for food. I would tell someone, you're a fool if you don't have no income coming in to deny those checks because Donald Trump's name is on it.
I'm not looking down.
I'm
I'm not
talking
looking-
about. Let's stick to us. I'm not answering for nobody else. Let's stick to us. We're okay in here. Let's stick to us. We're all okay. I know we're all okay.
I just answered the question
on,
already.
hold on.
We don't have fuck you money. The 5,000 would make a difference for us. It would. It absolutely
In
would.
like what way?
Okay, first of all, none of us live on the street, so you're thinking about it in the most extreme manner.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
we're,
are.
We're all above middle class. Pretty above middle class.
I'm middle class.
We're above middle class.
I don't think there is because then the only thing above middle class is high class. We ain't high class. I mean, you could say upper middle class. I mean, you could say we're in the upper echelon of middle class. Sure.
Okay.
Let's just say
But what I'm saying is you can't make that an absolute scenario. Do any of us need $5,000 to stay off the streets? No.
Yeah.
Can we all use $5,000 to better our life to the point where we don't have fuck you money? Yes, we can. No duh.
like, I'll be honest. If someone was to give me a $5,000 check right now, I would blow that on a vacation. That's what I would spend $5,000.
So then you wouldn't take it then.
He just said he would.
That's blowing it on vacation. He don't need that vacation. That's a want that he's going to use it on, which means you don't need that $5,000.
He just said if somebody give him money, he's taking the money. What are you talking about?
I know that, but we're talking about we can use it not life changing, but like it would be important for us to have that 5,000. If I get a $5,000 check and I can use it on vacation, that 5,000 isn't important to me. I don't need it. That's
It allows you to use your other money to pay your credit card bills or
okay.
rent or whatever. What are you talking about? Yeah. You're thinking in way too many absolute scenarios. Yes,
I do. And when it comes to politics and things like that, I think in absolute.
There's no such thing.
So
For me, it is.
No, it's not.
For me, it is.
Okay.
Which is why I don't vote. Which is why I prefer not to vote for anybody because I stand on what I think
That's
is
a
believed.
completely different topic.
That's fine.
You can't say.
So we on that topic. Do you don't think you not voting don't affect people you love, maybe a cousin or people you know that's not as privileged, that don't have the resources you have?
There's too many different ways to look at that. But see, the reason why I do vote the way I do and I always have vote is for other people. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not worried about Medicare and insurance and stuff like that for myself or anybody else.
If we text every day on a thread talking about, I don't know if I want to pay this $20 shipping. We ain't got fuck you money if we worried about $20 shipping. That's the point.
Stop it. No, that's just how we talk it. Want to and can are two different things. Like, stop it. I don't want to pay for a sub sandwich down the street for $6. I'm with you at the store.
Don't talk like that. That's my point.
Okay.
The people with the money who don't need the $5,000 don't even bring that up.
I've been with you at the store and you see me look at a $10 pair of pants. I had to go home and sleep on it because I didn't want to do it. I don't want to pay for nothing.
I'm aware. My point is, those people who don't need the $5,000 would never even come up.
And that's fine, but the people that don't,
that's why there's no absolutes.
Hold on. But here's the thing: people that do need it potentially, I'm not interested in what you got to say on a lot of stuff. Then I'm just not.
You mean like
here's
poor
the thing:
people? What are you talking about?
I ain't talking about poor. All right, but I'm talking about people that be on the internet. They got the most views and statements and things and opinions and whatnot, and then be like this. But that shit came in. Don't come to me with that.
Oh, that's completely different.
No, I think that's different too because I feel a lot of people.
Everything is different. Like,
every
scenario and every discussion.
But I feel social media. Everyone is performative.
That's
super performative.
That's fine, but that's TV, internet, here, everybody.
But you said us three.
Here's the thing: us three, we don't need 5,000. Okay, would it be nice to have it? That'd be cool. A little something. Give me a little Gucci sweater or something like that.
Yes, and that's big.
I don't need it.
Yes,
I should throw it away. I should be like, no, thank you, sir, because I don't agree with what you're doing.
Okay,
I should.
Okay.
You should.
Okay, but that's a lot different to somebody who wouldn't even consider thinking about it. There's a big difference between people who text about, oh, this $20 shipping sucks, and then somebody who wouldn't even bother caring what the shipping cost was. Why you reacting like this is ridiculous?
I'm not acting like it's ridiculous. Like your example of our stupid thread with me, you and
like
Rico.
This is ridiculous. Not that you are
I'm
acting like
it's ridiculous. No, I'm acting.
Can you hear what I'm saying?
I'm not acting like this is ridiculous.
No, you are acting ridiculous during this situation is what I'm saying.
I'm not acting ridiculous.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You fail to see the point I'm trying to make.
You know what? Let me use
There
this
are
example.
some people that wouldn't, the discussions, they have so much money, those discussions don't ever happen. Yes, I know we can afford $20 shipping. That's irrelevant to this conversation.
You brought it up, not me. You brought it up. You brought that $20 up like it was gonna be like, oh, you made a good point. They're like, yeah, I maybe could use that 5,000 because I don't want to pay the $20
I think
shipping.
people will understand what I'm trying to say. Just because you trying to fight back for no reason
I'm not
whatsoever.
trying to fight back.
Buddy.
I'm talking about me. I'm not taking the 5K.
What are you talking about?
I ain't taking the 5K.
That's completely irrelevant.
I'm not taking the 5K.
My point again is some people out there have so much money they don't even need to. It's not even a consideration.
Let me tell you something. Rocio is always fighting against Trump and the whole world, fighting against everybody. Nordstrom accidentally sent us all these colognes that we didn't pay for. She was like, I said, send them back. We don't do things like that. Right or wrong, we don't do it. We stand on it. We got to be right. We don't steal. We don't do stuff. She was like,
That's still a completely different scenario that I'm giving you.
I stand on, if I go one way, I roll one way. I don't be like, well, today since we got these.
No one said
I'm talking about me.
No one said you should.
I know that. I'm talking about me.
You didn't ask about you though. You asked about would y'all. And what I'm telling you is
us.
No, what I'm telling you is humanity. There's one type of human that has so much money that amount of money you said doesn't matter.
Cool.
Then there's us. Then there's people that's below. So there's a lot of different things. There is a large percentage of people that would be like, what, 5,000, buddy? For us, we would be like, oh, 5,000, we could do a lot. You would start counting up the things you could do with the money.
Standing on business.
I'm not saying you would take the money, you freak. I'm saying if someone told you were getting 5,000, you would be like, ooh, I could do this, I could do this. There's people up top of you that wouldn't even think about it. They would be like, we good.
If somebody told me I was getting 5,000, I'd be like, thank you very much, but no thank you.
buddy.
Don't need it, sir.
You just being contrary to be contrary.
No, thank you, sir. I don't agree with your policies.
But once football season started and Saquon scores touchdown, no one's going to care.
It don't matter what they do, a 360 jump over somebody next week.
No one's
And
gonna
once
care.
they see how fast he run, they'll be like, yes. Don't care.
No one's going to care.
What are you talking about? Dude, stop. Anyways, I got anything else to talk about in this? We done. We got to talk about sneakers for at least an hour.
What was the other thing? NBA playoffs? You got another NBA playoffs?
Nah, I don't.
0.
Nothing at all. Playoffs are mid. They're fine.
What's the name? Mike career might be over. You got nothing.
Dame Lillard?
Maybe.
His career was over when he signed with
What
the
happened
Bucks.
with because I don't follow
Achilles
basketball.
rupture.
Ruptured Achilles.
He got hurt. Didn't he have a blood clot?
Yeah, he had a blood clot like a few weeks ago. He came back, now towards Achilles, now he gone again. So appreciate your contributions to the league. Hall of Famer, first ballot. Where you on from? Hey, I ain't got nothing for it. I got at the NBA playoffs. I mean, do y'all think Gorillas could beat up 100 men? Do y'all? I'm dead serious.
100 men cannot beat up.
I think what Blanc said was hilarious. Blanc was that not LMAO, not impressed.
I don't
think them was silverbacks. Number one, it depends what you talking about.
And how did that debate even start?
But
I have no
How does any
idea.
debate start?
It's been
Stupid
about
internet?
it's been Mount Rushmore, and then now it's about 100 men can fight
But
a
wait,
gorilla.
The simulations have been funny though.
Oh yeah,
They have been-
the
they have
humans
been
was acting-
hilarious.
Okay, I'm not gonna say the R word, but the humans were acting slow in that simulation. You know what I mean? They didn't say, okay, guys, let's attack at once. They were doing. It looked like zombies. They were like,
That's exactly how it would go.
you have no idea how it would go. What are you talking about?
I know.
It would never happen
You
because
talking
humans
about
could not
Jack
agree on the
Reacher thing in the
strategizing.
thread where Jack
It would
Reacher
never
was
happen.
like, all I gotta do is knock you out. Maybe we'll have a couple
No.
like frisky
No.
guys, and the last
No.
one's always
No.
run.
And the
That's
gorilla-
literally the scenario you tried to
Let
say.
me-
in
The
his
gorilla is
thread.
strong. It's
No,
fast.
wait, let me do this.
And I didn't
before
even
you-
give that scenario. That's
Yes,
not
you
what I
did.
said.
That's exactly what you
no,
said.
I did not.
I didn't say you said it came from Jack Reacher, but that's the
Thank
scene
you.
from Jack Reacher.
No, I didn't say that in that thread.
I know that's what I just said. You didn't say it, but that's literally the scene from
No,
the
it's
movie.
not.
Yes, it is. He was like, all I got to do is knock you out. There'll be 2 frisky guys, and then the last 2 will run. That's what you said. You'd be like,
Okay,
all you got to do is kill one guy, maybe one couple guys will fight him, and the last one's a run.
No, they
That's
were
what you
all
said.
run. Okay, that's fine. Look,
Let me say what I'm gonna say.
Go
first.
ahead. Go ahead.
Because I'm sure y'all seen that video today of that man shooting at that polar bear or whatever, and got on that ski and got out of there. People talking about the wrong animal though, because a polar bear will mess a gorilla up. I'd rather fight a gorilla than a polar bear.
I saw that.
Make
I saw that
clear.
debate. Well, I think it was a grizzly bear. Who would win in the fight, a grizzly bear or a gorilla?
I think a gorilla beat a grizzly bear, but he ain't beating a polar bear. The polar bear's a different animal. Huh? I seen a wildlife expert talking about it.
well, a polar bear is the most violent bear that
Yes.
exists.
I'm actually
Exactly.
going to when I
And
leave
bigger.
here. I'm going on TikTok to look up polar bears.
A polar bear's about what, 9 feet tall?
Damn.
Cats are huge.
They were saying on that video I was watching, they were like polar bears are the only
But
one,
that
the
don't mean
only
nothing,
animal.
though.
Oh, hold on. They were like polar bears are the only animal that will treat the human like prey, and
100%.
if you're in their area footprint, they won't stop till they chase you at least to the edge of it.
How fast is a polar bear?
I
Probably
don't
as
think
fast
you
as a
wanna
black
find out,
bear,
bro.
but see, they can run in snow too, so they gotta be pretty fast.
I don't think you want to find out.
No,
I would
hold
never
on.
come
Hold
close to a
on.
polar bear.
I need to hear from you, George.
What?
Can 100 men beat up a gorilla? Actually, is it kill or beat up a gorilla?
I think kill.
Who knows? Cats on the internet talking.
I think
Who
kill.
knows?
I say. I'm not George, but I say no.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no. I think
I say no.
you said that thing of that New Zealand Tongans or whatever them cats was preparing, the black shirts in New Zealand, the ones that play rugby. If it was 100 of them, 10 of them might be able to smash a gorilla. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not trying to fight a gorilla. That's all that matters.
Look, I know what's gonna happen. All right.
Break it down since you said I said
There
wrong what
are
you said.
2 things that could happen.
Wait. First of all, hold on. Can people use weapons or anything? I'm not talking about guns.
Nope.
I'm not talking about guns.
Nope.
I'm talking about
Straight
people have an
fades.
axe or something.
Straight
fade.
personal
Okay.
weapons. Hands,
Okay.
feet,
Okay.
fist, and teeth.
What if the
All right?
gorilla pick up a branch or something?
Well, we gotta
I mean,
tell them the rules.
So it has to be, yeah. So it has to be in a room with no branches or nothing.
I feel like watching Congo now too.
Look, let me tell you something. This is what the 2 things that will happen. First of all, a gorilla's an animal. Okay, let's get that one thing straight.
Thank you. In
A
case the
gorilla,
listeners
a
were
gorilla
not
in
clear
the
on that.
wild, a wild gorilla has probably seen things that we'll never see in our entire
Yes,
lives.
poop being
But
thrown.
let me tell you one thing. I guarantee a
Humans
gorilla.
fight, they don't throw poop at
Let
each
me
other.
tell you what I guarantee.
I rub poop in the gorilla's eyes so real quick. He might be fine though. Actually, he might be okay. Huh? I'll come from behind and rub poop all in his eyes, so we'll win, huh? if Gorilla's got like Travis Hunter quick
Stop.
twitch, so it's over, though.
If you even pull that off, that's equivalent to how strong we thought Russia was. Like, there's no way. Dude. That means that we was wrong.
We were wrong
gorillas,
about that too.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, that was funny.
Like I said, a gorilla has seen things that we've never seen before in the wild, but I guarantee a gorilla has never seen 100 men standing in front of him, all right? Now, he's an animal. He may just be scared. He may be absolutely terrified about what he's seeing, and the 100 men...
How we dress, huh?
Yeah.
We got all white on.
we
He
all
might
got
not be
on-
shook. We got all white
we
on.
got on football jersey.
If we got like all black on or camo or something, he might be shook. Let's
That
never know.
gorilla has never seen 100
If we got
men
yellow
at the
on,
same
he might
time.
try to eat people.
Never.
He might
Unless
think we
they
all
at the
bananas.
zoo. Unless it's a gorilla at the zoo, they've never been in front of 100
I seen a
people.
gorilla looking at a cell phone at
Bam.
the zoo. So
The
you never
gorilla
know,
may
huh?
get into
funny.
the fetal position, curl up, and be terrified, and the 100 men be able to get him. That's one. Two, like the scenario I gave in the thread. We're smart people. Once I see the gorilla go ahead and take you out the way he may take you out, I'm out of here. That's
So-
all you need.
So what type of draft would they do for these humans?
That's all you need.
Does Cleveland get a pick?
I'm telling you.
I don't care. I don't
Buddy,
care.
you setting up people that was doing that hit and
Damn.
drill for that New Zealand on black shirts.
Y'all need to
they'll
send that to
win.
me. I want to
They're
see
gonna
that.
win.
I need to see that.
Buddy.
I don't care what type of human what you think you are, what type of guts you think you have. Fighting a gorilla is equivalent to like watching like Fast and Furious. You ain't got guts like that. I don't care how many times they jump off a raft, fire, blast off into space, flip their car, grab the woman, flip in the air, fall on the ground and fire. Nobody got guts like that. Nobody got guts like a Hobbs movie. They jump out of a skyscraper and slide down the building. Nobody got guts like that. Nobody
It depends.
has guts. Nobody has guts to go against a gorilla.
Let me say that.
Nobody.
Okay, this is gonna be kind of messed up. but Let
Nobody.
me say this. Some of them. Okay, this is gonna be messed up. I probably shouldn't say it.
Then you may not want to.
Rest in peace. First, let me say some of them cats from 9/11 jumped out the building because they
That's
thought that.
different,
Hold
man.
on, that's what I'm saying. If you think that's the only way you can survive, that somebody might do something crazy.
That don't
You never
take
know.
guts. Huh?
Yes, it does. That's exactly what that is.
No.
You have to have
What?
guts. You have to have
What?
guts if you
Hold on, I'm
jumping out of
sorry.
a building.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry.
What?
Hold on. I'm
Not
sorry.
having guts is you in the building
Hold
and
on.
you like, nah, I'm not
Hold
doing that. And you
on.
go back that way, try to find another way out. That's not having guts.
Let me take it back just a little bit. I mean, that's a you got one or two options.
You're saying you got no other option. That's
You got
whatever.
one or two
Some of them
options.
cats had options.
Okay.
Don't say they don't have options.
Now, in Dodge and Hobbs or whatever that movie is with Rock
That's
and
different.
Jason Statham, they didn't have to jump out that
That's
skyscraper
different.
like that. All right,
If
nobody.
it's crumbling,
it wasn't crumbling.
if you're on the 100th floor and something's crumbling and that's your only way out, I mean,
It wasn't crumbling. All right,
I'm just saying.
it was just guys with
I don't
guns.
remember the scene. I'm just saying.
It was guys with guns. All right, I'd rather take my chance of trying not to get shot or get shot than jump out of a 100-foot skyscraper. Period. I ain't got guts like that. All right, to me. All right. Now, like I said. The gorilla would either be terrified of seeing 100 human beings he's never seen before in his entire life coming at him and may curl up in a fetal position and be terrified we may be able to get him. Or, like I said, that gorilla put his hands on you and I go, God dang. See y'all later. I'm out of it. That's it. That's the only
a gorilla put his
scenario.
hands on somebody. He ripping they head out of their spine like Mortal Kombat.
I don't even know if a gorilla...
I think they will bite first.
I
'cause
don't
they got
think a
those big
gorilla
teeth.
knows how to do that. Like, I think a gorilla doesn't realize I can do that. I think
they
just-
bite.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think they realize like
They
go
can
like,
bite your head off. Look.
Yeah, see, I don't think they'll go like I don't think they know that they can rip our arms off our bodies. a gorilla.
Well, they might think they're smart. They might figure it out
A
after the
gorilla's
first
one of them
guy.
type that like they just so rough with you that then your arm just pop out and they be like, oh shit, like I know I can do that. Like then they may go from there, but bite. They're probably gonna bite first. They probably bite first, and they got like an 8,000-pound force of bite. Okay, so they bite our skulls like
Those
grapes.
teeth are like this
All right?
long.
So, anyways, I got nothing else about that. Y'all got anything about this? We got to do sneakers and pickups.
I think men could win, huh? It got to be the right men, though.
No, it don't. No.
Yeah, it does.
Man ain't winning, dog.
No.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
buddy.
they gotta be all Marines, all right, and they gotta be to save America.
No, they got to be all Samoans that play for New Zealand.
Here's the
rugby.
thing: if the men have a goal, men will win. Like, I mean, like the men is like, yo, you don't do this, America's done. Like, the country's over with.
No cats don't care about America. They'd be happy. They'd be like, yes.
Nah. Then men will win. Now the gorilla, he got no motivation. Because he don't know nothing. He got no motivation. But he's gonna be so shocked to see 100 cats in front of him. Like he gonna be like this, like whoa, what is this? He ain't gonna be like this. Everybody think the gorilla like this. like this. The gorilla ain't doing that. Gorilla gonna be like this. They're like,
Did y'all see
no, please, Mr. Man. Like, no.
Did y'all see the post gorilla interview on Twitter talking about, yeah, man, they wanted to run the fade, so you know what I'm saying?
That's what they think. They think if you get in front of a gorilla, the gorilla gonna be like this. Let's do this. Like,
pull his pants
that's what
up.
They think. He gonna be like that. They think the gorilla gonna act like that. Stop with that gorilla. All right, let's do this. Anything else? Let's sneak this. Pow, pow, pow.